This month's movie recap, March 2026, from worst to best, in just under 3 minutes. Starting with the stinkers, bottom of the list for March, Strangers Chapter 3. My god. Not only the worst horror trilogy you'll ever see, now finalised with this final entry, I mean, one of the worst trilogies you'll ever see, if not the worst trilogy. Such low quality, as bad as horror films get. All three are as bad as each other. Waste of time, thank god they're over. And from bad to probably the biggest example of wasted potential of the year so far, a stacked cast. The Bride had so much potential. You know, you've got recently Oscar-winning actress Jessie Buckley, you've got Christian Bale, you've got Maggie Gyllenhaal directing, you've got Jake Gyllenhaal involved. All of that equates to one of the most boring and nothing Frankenstein stories you'll ever see. Waste of time, and a real shame, this one. And then into the okays of the month. Reminders of Him. Tariq Withers and Micah Monroe, who I would usually associate as horror actors, or certainly have been more prominent in horror films, in a kind of strangely set up rom-com. This wasn't the worst film by any means, but it didn't really have anything to leave kind of a lasting legacy. And, you know, it's pretty forgettable, ultimately. And then How to Make a Killing. I mean, this movie had some shining moments. Glenn Powell is charismatic and enjoyable as ever in any of his roles, but not a whole lot of substance here in How to Make a Killing. Not a film that is billed. It's billed as a fun movie, and it certainly doesn't deliver in that fun half as much as it should. Not the worst, but not a whole lot to write home about either. And then on to the good stuff. Ready or Not 2. The first Ready or Not was such a blast, and the second one is nearly just as fun as the first. Maybe it doesn't have just as much quality, it isn't as unique as the first film, and it does go kind of over old ground, but in a fun way. The addition of Catherine Newton's character really adds a lot to it. The sister dynamic, and rather than a solo adventure or a solo survivor story, it works really well, and I really... It's hard not to have fun with this, as silly and as over the top as it is for most of its runtime. And I'm sure you're very surprised to see Project Hail Mary is the best film of March, because of course it was. One of the best sci-fi films in years, one of the most heartwarming and warm stories that I can think of in recent memory. A film that has so much more quality than it should have on the outside of what it bills itself as. Project Hail Mary is really damn good, and basically it's as good as everybody's saying it is. Definitely worth your time. And is by quite a distance my favourite film of March 2026.